Hi everybody, my name's Bryant. Welcome to the Open Range. On the Open Range, we have open discussion about a wide range of topics, and today's topic is going to be alpha males and kind of what I think that means and how it's been interpreted, and a little brief history on the term as long as I can remember what I read about it. If I look a little disheveled, it's because I was out riding a dirt bike for a little while, and I'm sitting at a gas station waiting for a storm to come in, so that could be exciting. So last episode we talked about original names and how someone's name may influence the direction that their life goes. I thought that was pretty interesting. I listed a few examples of some celebrities and some entertainers and athletes and things like that that had interesting names under the guise that that special name may have influenced their life in the direction that they took with it, and in their profession. That's a pretty interesting video, so go check that out. So, okay, on to alpha males and kind of my thoughts on that. So, oftentimes we relate alpha males as people to the leaders of pack or herd or Congress type animals, which would be wolves and chimpanzees, mostly animals like that. So that's kind of how or where the connection for alpha male and the idea behind that relates to humans. The term hasn't really been around that long for humans, as relating to humans. There's not a lot of usage of that terminology. It's been in a few books. Recently, when I say recently, I mean like in the last 75 years or less, is kind of when it started being used more. And it's a relatively modern term to describe people. Now, a lot of times, instinctually, we think alpha males are dominant, aggressive type people that, take what they want and this and that. And that's kind of a stigma that's been attached to it. If you Google alpha males, there's a whole lot of stuff about how to pick up women as an alpha male and things like that. I don't agree with this view. I think that, having someone... Okay, so I think that most men, not all, but most men that think they are alpha males or, carry about this stigma that they are alpha males and that's what's in their brain, that they are alpha males, are really not. I don't think that they carry the qualities of leadership. I think I wrote a bunch of terms down that I forgot somewhere. Anyway, I feel that aggressive and dominant and traits like that are not ones of leadership. I think that alpha males should be leaders of their pack or of their group. They shouldn't be overbearing on that group, but they should use other skill sets that are harder to develop in order to be that leader. They should have humility. They should be compassionate. And when I say compassionate, I don't mean weak. I just mean that they should be able to understand situations and people and things like that. They should have very strong willpower, be able to manage themselves as people professionally or in a good manner. I think that they should be strong, not just physically but mentally as well, and they should be someone of sound moral character that's trustworthy and things like that people can look to for guidance. Now, sometimes we replace this idea of leadership with one of dominance and things like that, and that's not a good leader, So I think that a few, some alpha males, I'm going to use air quotes, alpha males that think they are alpha males really aren't. They're not, and the qualities that they have may be covering up a inner weakness or something that they are uncomfortable with and not able to process and develop. So I think it's important that we use that term in a manner in which it has a positive connotation rather than a negative connotation. And I think that people should always strive to be the best people that they can. And there are leaders and there are followers, and there are people that think they can lead, but they're not leading that well, or just not at all. People won't follow them because of the type of leadership that they try to instill on people, and that doesn't always work. So I think that as far as alpha males go, it's important to use positive qualities of leadership for that term, attach that term, and for the people that are like that. Now, I'm not saying that these people that do fall under my idea of an alpha male are not willing to throw down over something, if it comes to it, but they have the ability to make a wise judgment call on when confrontation like that, physical or otherwise, is necessary, and then how the best way to go, what the best way to go about it would be. So that, whereas sometimes what we think of, or what society thinks of as an alpha male, is someone that is quick to fight and ultra aggressive and maybe a little bit egotistical, and they think very highly of themselves. They don't have these qualities that are beneficial for leadership, which is where I would define an alpha male as being a leader. That's what it is in a pack. And the alpha males in a pack oftentimes are not necessarily the youngest or the strongest or anything like that. They're the smartest that can survive the best. We also need to be sure that when we're comparing humans to animals in that same with that same concept of the alpha male of the pack and things like that, that we take into account that animals act differently than people do. They're not the same, and so you have to use that when you're reflecting upon the alpha males of the animal world versus alpha males in humans. That because we are at our core animals, but we don't function in a society the same way as other animals do. And so that's important to note as well when you're looking at the term alpha male and how it, the dominance factor and things like that. And the most common example of that is the wolf in a wolf pack. And so it's important that we distinguish that wolves and people are not the same, and chimpanzees and people are not the same. So things like that are pretty important when discussing this topic. Again, this video is pretty quick. It's a pretty short topic. Not a whole lot to say on it, other than a lot of people that think they are alpha males or would tell you that they are an alpha male, they're really not. I think it's a cover for something else that they're dealing with, and they need to understand that dealing with those things, things that make them uncomfortable or whatever, it doesn't make them weak. It can actually make them a stronger, better person, and move them into a position of being a true alpha male. And it's not all about picking up chicks and all that kind of stuff. It's about being able to lead people, the people around you, whether it's by example or otherwise. And if you're actually leading people, or you're just providing a solid source for people to look upon, to to guide their own lives. Indirectly, you may indirectly be leading these people, and that's important to consider yourself when you act, and how you act and things like that. So all this crap you see on the internet about how to be an alpha male, there's a lot about what people are describing that as, and what the function of that is, and the end game for it. There's not a lot of science behind it anywhere. So of course, my opinion is just my opinion. This is what I think about it. I read a few good articles about alpha males and how they do have the leadership qualities that I described, and they help build up the others that look towards them, and they understand that people may view them as a leader, and so they do the best they can to provide a positive image for that, and they're not self-centered and things like that. So that's just my take on it. Alpha males, a lot of times if someone is aggressive or dominant or something like that, forceful, and calls themselves an alpha male, they're probably not. It's the people that are able to lead by a better example and are a little more humble and have humility and can learn and can teach and things like that. Those are the qualities that I would put on being an alpha male. So that's my talk on that. I appreciate everybody following along. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I look forward to the next episode. So we'll see you out here on the open range. Thanks.